Good? Okay. All right. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Abby. I'm an usher for today, so we're just gonna open off the ceremony. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2022 commencement ceremony. We would like to acknowledge our We would like to acknowledge our senior jazz combo that has been playing for your listening pleasure prior to the start of today's program. Sydney, ooh. So funny. Sydney Mecca, Emmett Van Leer, Eli Short, Andrew Rigo, Bodie Klinger, Aiden McKenna, Stella Densley, and Virginia Sanderson. At this time, I would like to review several details with you for the comfort and safety of all of our guests. At 2 p.m., faculty members in the class of 2022 will assemble on the track area adjacent to the building. They will then march down the track to the seating area. During that time and throughout the ceremony, we request that you do not come onto the track area to take pictures and that you not block the view of other guests. Our school photographer, Mars Studios, will photograph each student as they receive a diploma. The ceremony will be streamed live on the Eagle News Network, which can be accessed at barringtonhigh.org. Our ushers are available throughout the area to ensure you receive a program of today's ceremony. Should you need additional assistance, please contact them and they will notify the proper personnel. We also have representatives from the Barrington Police Department in attendance in the event of any medical or other emergency. During the ceremony, the ushers will be seated just inside the fence and the police officers will be available along the perimeter of the fence. At the conclusion of the program, the graduates will exit Victory Field by marching to my right. They will then exit through the gate near the softball field. Please wait for them in the outfield so that the class may have room to exit and that, all families have adequate space to congratulate their graduating seniors. Please do not come onto the track area as they exit. Thank you for your cooperation. Please enjoy the commencement ceremony honoring the Barrington High School class of 2022.
At this time, I would like to have our class marshal, Stella Densley, please seat the class of 2022. Now at this time, I'm going to ask the class to rise again, but would everybody please stand for the national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the graduating class of 2022. To begin today's ceremony, I'd like to call up Angelica and Max Splain, the co-presidents of the senior class, to give their address.
Good afternoon, parents, teachers, staff, friends, family, and BHS graduating class of 2022. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful day. We're here to celebrate my fellow classmates and I for graduating Barrington High School, but we're also here to mourn. The building that looms behind us, which has survived tens of thousands of BO-ridden bodies through its time, will never be the same without our class. Truly, I feel terrible. I'm so sorry, especially for the teachers that won't have to listen to the booming barn animal noises going through the hundreds hallway every single day. Once again, I'm so sorry. But mourning must pass, and so too must our grade to bigger and better things. And I know we will, because if I randomly turned around and locked eyes with any one of my classmates, I could easily see the determination in their eyes. Seriously, all of us seem to have our own drive, and that's what's most impressive to me. My grade is brilliant, not only in book smarts. Socially, my grade connects their crowds like interlocking puzzle pieces, tight, but can be separated. But ultimately, my grade is my pride. These are the people I've spent the past 4 painstaking years with, laughing at one another and crying at our pre-calc grades. And to think that we were naive enough to believe that this year would take forever. It went by too fast. But it forged our grade into something more. Our grade became a community.
That's not to say it was always easy. We spent much of our high school experience being told by parents and teachers what we'd lost out on just by being part of our grade. And it's true. As we know, the pandemic has had devastating effects on the world, and that seeped into our high school experience. Adults often looked at us with pity as they reflected on their own experiences and compared it with ours. But as we sat down to write this, we could only remember what we had gained from high school, how we were all still able to find a community. The pandemic forced us to, at 16 years old, discover our own priorities and find what binds us together. For some, a sense of community was found in friends, not just in our grade as a whole, but by the individual bonds we each possess. I look out into this audience and I see so many incredible friendships. I see my own friends. Class of 22, please take a moment to look around you. These are the people you have depended on that have depended on you. These are the friendships that have been built over the past 4 years or the ones made 12 years ago in the halls of Soames, Primrose, or Nayet. They were the friends you ran the Nayet 5K with, wrestled through the mud with at the Tough Tiger, won prizes with at the Soames Oktoberfest, and played games with at the Primrose Carnival. You played wall ball next to them at recess. You ate lunch with them day after day. You sat next to them every day until you scheduled a play date. They were also the friends you can remember their middle school years with, the embarrassing crushes and awkward sports night dances. They are the people that sit next to you today.
And while our friends provide invaluable growth and, in all honesty, just a good time, the adhesive that holds our community together in one piece must silently accept our departure. While we may not give them the credit they deserve, we've learned so much from our teachers. And while we may have become experts on the Constitution in our Gov classes with Ms. Greco or Mr. Monaco, I also learned how not to throw a softball thanks to Mr. G. Oftentimes, without us knowing, our classes would be engulfed in complex conversations, leading us down paths we didn't know were there. Who created these conversations? A tired parent who probably stayed up late the night before to make sure their students really absorbed the topic. We didn't see any of this, mind you. We only saw the smiling face that walked into the building, ready to help us every single day. Those smiles are infectious too, as one quick convo with Mr. Moran will set your day straight. And the gossip circle with Senora Klein were the best places to vent. Those are our outlets, to let us express ourselves in ways we can't at home or with our friends. These are our mentors, who have put aside their needs to provide for us. And finally, after these 4 formative years, our friends, who did more than we ever could have asked for. From the class of 2022, we thank you wholeheartedly. One staff member in particular, however, has held this school together through thick and thin and will forever be a part of our community.
This school community wouldn't be possible without the direction of Mr. Hurley. We want to thank Mr. Hurley from the bottom of our hearts for the past 4 years we've had with him, the past 23 years he has been principal at this school, and the 42 years he has spent dedicated to educating and inspiring students. This is also a celebration for him and his dedication to the staff, the school environment, and the students. He makes you feel prepared as a student for the next chapter in your life, for what lies beyond high school. He led Barrington High School students to great academic success, and many of the school's accomplishments can be attributed to him. But he also makes high school itself joyful. Mr. Hurley's warm presence is felt throughout the halls of BHS. I can truly say I have never passed Mr. Hurley in the hallway without a bright smile on his face. He waves and says hi to students as they walk in and through the building. You'll often see him talking and laughing with staff or students, never failing to show concern and care for each and every member of the school community. Barrington High School and all of its students will miss Mr. Hurley deeply. He is an integral and beloved part of the community, and I have no doubt he will continue to be. We also cannot forget about the sense of community in the town of Barrington itself. You felt this sense of community while driving through the streets, as you passed the trees change colors in the fall and became strung with lights during cold December nights. As you sat on Barrington Beach, or ate at your favorite restaurant, or biked down the bike path. You remember the old middle school, you remember playing town soccer on the fields, you remember reading at the library. If you're like me, you grew up in this town, on these streets. This town often felt like it was growing along with me. If you're like me, you'll be moving away for college. I'll miss this town deeply. This town was a member of the community too.
And for all that we've done throughout our 4 years here, nothing can come between what we've created. Years will pass, life will go on, and we'll partially forget the strides we took with one another here in this very building. But you can't lose the spirit we have, nor the fight. We will always be able to recognize one another, if not by looks, then by personality. I wish nothing but the best for all that are here. I know that one day I will get to see my classmate's face or personality once again. I'd like to end with a quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald, who perfectly summarizes Angelica and I's message. He states, "For what it's worth, it's never too late or too early to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Start whenever you want. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best of it or the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people who have a different point of view. I hope you have a life that you are proud of. And if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start it all over again."
Thank you, BHS.
We will certainly miss you.
We did it!
We did it.
Thank you, Max and Angelica. Great job. Now, for our first student essay, I'd like to call to the stage Jack Laudner. Jack?
Good afternoon. Looking back at the beginning of our high school career, all those years ago in 2018, it sort of feels simultaneously so long ago and yet so near. I mean, come on. It was just yesterday we were dropped off in front of the school. You know, high school. It was something so wildly different from what we perceived school was like. We experienced a new level of freedom, experienced a new level of culture. The change was stark, but memorable and fun. Simple things come to mind, like where freshmen should sit at lunch and that you could just use your phone while in school, that you could walk the hallway with your backpack, that you could simply have a free period of study. I, and I'm sure many others, have these vivid memories of freshman year. I can still recall my exact schedule. A period was algebra with Miss Piliotis, B was world history with Miss Miller. My point is, these vivid memories are the ones that connect us to our past. And at least for me personally, make me feel that it really was not all that long ago we started this journey. It is also true that freshman year would be our only normal full year. That also made it quite memorable. The only full year that we can look back on and say, yes, that is what this thing was like in a normal year before COVID. It was great. And we are now the last class that can say that. And it's easy to feel like we've been robbed. We were sent out of school right in the middle of our sophomore year. Right as we were getting our footing, it all came to a halt. Everything was thrown completely out of the window. But it went by quickly, right? I remember during distance learning being so upset when summer seemed to arrive in what felt like a few weeks, but it had actually been a few months. Those were lonely, challenging times, but we persevered, and we rebounded directly into our junior year. But even with hybrid learning that junior year, it was never quite the same. That desired sense of normalcy was not present. Perhaps that feeling of normalcy we once knew will be one we never feel again. And, well, here we are now, sitting down for one last time as Barrington High School students, as part of the class of 2022. After this wild ride, it's now coming to a close. And in this sense, again, it really all went by quite fast. But like I said earlier, it also feels so long ago. It may not be obvious to some of my classmates now, but take a moment and think of who you were freshman year as a person. Like literally, close your eyes for a moment and just imagine you are sitting in front of that tiny little freshman you only see in pictures. Do you see it now? What you should see is someone familiar, yet so different. But rather than cringing, thinking about all of the annoying, petty things we did and mistakes we made, reflect on how much we have changed. We all have matured so much since then. It may not have been a clear, exact moment, but it has been continuous from the moment we stepped foot here for the first time, shaped by all the decisions we made along the way. We weathered the storm, and it weathered us right back. It eroded and smoothed us down into, one way or another, better people. And I honestly and truly believe that every single one of us has improved, and it is evidenced by us simply all being here today, by graduating and moving on to the next steps in our lives. When you think of how much you have changed, you realize just how long ago you were that little freshman. Change from this perspective is wonderful and empowering. But change can also seem terrifying when looking towards the future. We naturally fear the unknown and what lies ahead. It's like being at the base of a mountain and looking straight up to the top. It's so tall and daunting, almost nauseating. But you start working your way up that mountain, and slowly but surely your fear begins to fade. You take it step by step, maybe make some mistakes along the way, stumble down a bit, but soon it really doesn't seem that steep. Before you know it, you pick up some speed, you keep going, and then you're at the peak, looking down at the summit you've just conquered. It just required that first step and a little bit of work. If I were to offer one piece of advice to the class of 2022 as we move on to the next steps in our lives, whether you go to college, into a trade, the military, or wherever else, it would be to not be fearful of this change. Do not be fearful of that first step. Take chances and do what you love. Because as long as you trust yourself, the change you experience will always be for the better. And if it does not feel that way at first, you may have to wait a bit longer to learn from it. Even if you failed to climb the mountain, you reflected, you learned, and you changed for the better. And you were at least brave enough to take that first step, which, hey, it's pretty good. Embrace the change in your life, and your growth will come alongside it. To my classmates, my teachers, and my family, thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Jack. At this time, we're going to call on our choral ensemble, who will be performing in Wherever You Go. Thank you. Great job, everyone. For our second student essay, I'd like to call Tessa Sullivan to the stage. Tess?
Hi, everybody. I want to start by thanking the board for choosing my speech for today's ceremony. I feel extremely honored for the privilege to speak before you all on this special day. This momentous occasion makes me remember the first time I was introduced to the rite of passage, which is the high school graduation. I recall attending my sister Molly's graduation in 2017. I sat wide-eyed as each blue gown completed its walk, and I felt an innate excitement at the announcement of her name. I couldn't wait until it was my turn. While I was fully enraptured in this event, my middle school mind quickly drifted to evening plans or next week's sports night. This moment brings up many feelings for me, as I'm sure it does many of you here today. Today marks the final culmination of our Barrington memories and stories as students here. I think back to the innocent afternoons on the school lawn, begging mom and dad for an after-school Dells. At Primrose Hill, Miss Roxanne was the frequent Dells driver, and part of the reason I seem to almost always get my Dells lemonade in the end. I remember the start of 4th grade and meeting so many new friends. Little did I know, all these new faces were the complete graduating class of 2022, plus a few more here and there. Though, due to the Hampton Meadows horseshoe shape, the kids in A and B hallways were harder to reach. I was a C hallway resident myself. Hope you guys are doing well. I specifically remember setting up my school email, sullivant22@barringtonschools.org, in the computer lab with the tech teacher. It took me an inappropriate amount of time to wrap my head around the number 22. What does that stand for? That's when I'll graduate? The year 2022 felt like eons away to me. Half of those eons being the hurdle that is middle school. Who could forget the start of middle school? While many of us soaked up the mischievous era that was BMS, we were all undeniably excited to leave and move on to the next chapter. Most of all, I remember our middle school leaving us. I find it exceptionally special that we are one of the last classes that experienced the fleeting nostalgia of the old middle school building. All of the bubblers that didn't work quite right, or the ominous boiler room door that everyone secretly wanted in on. And you can't forget throwing forks and juice down the stairs on the way back from lunch. That was never a good idea. I'm sure you all have your own middle school details. These are just some of many that stick out to me. I remember first coming to high school my freshman year. The seniors seemed so big and untouchable to me, and I'm sure I seemed so puny and minute to them. As I now stand here as a graduating Barrington High School senior, I question what it is that separates seniors from other grades, or rather, what should. We have been held to extremely high standards at this school, something I'm very grateful for. What makes this class so unique is our ability to withstand adversity and champion resilience. At the start of the pandemic, we were just sophomores, ready to finish out our second year of high school. I have found the pandemic to be extremely transformative for myself and my peers in more ways than one. No one could have anticipated the circumstances such as these, and yet we as a community continue to overcome them. As a result, a sense of gratitude has taken over in my academic life and has allowed me to finish off the end of this year with a beaming smile on my face, one that you can now actually see. I believe what makes a remarkable senior is one's ability to lead by example. This graduating class has undoubtedly exceeded this standard. We have numerous athletes going off to represent Barrington throughout the country, brilliant students on the brink of attending prestigious colleges, and above all, we have students whose character will carry them through no matter what it is they choose to do. I think of a poignant quote by Jim Carrey. The effect you have on others is your greatest currency. So with that I say, the graduating class of 2022 has some seriously deep pockets. I want to ask my peers to stop for a moment and look at one another. Turn to each other and acknowledge your joint successes and your budding potential. As I led you through stories of the past, I hope you too were able to find yourself relishing in the myriad of all-encompassing moments that have led you to this day. I want to end by thanking you all. Thank you to the parents and role models who have supported you all these years. Thank you to the teachers, administrators, custodians, the hot lunch staff, and everyone in between for never wavering in their efforts and care. We truly would be nothing without our faculty. They have never failed to give us the room for growth and the opportunity to be the best that we can be. Thank you to my peers for making the last 12 years of my life so many things, but most of all, memorable. I get the chills just thinking about all that my classmates have to offer this world, and I cannot wait to watch it all unfold. It actually just came to my attention that senior class officers organized a reunion, so you can't get rid of me just yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Tess. Before I give my address to the class, we do have one other graduate who's sitting up here with me on stage today, who I am going to ask Olivia Danello, our Spanish Club president, to come up on behalf of Mrs. Messore. Sharon Messore is also retiring this year. Olivia?
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to congratulate my peers on all the accomplishments that have led us to today, as well as wish them luck in their future endeavors. There are many steps that have led us to today, classes we have taken, and teachers that have helped us get there. One of the teachers that has consistently helped students achieve their goals and been a prominent figure in the Barrington community is Spanish teacher and World Language Department Head, Mrs. Messore, often known as Senora Messore among her students. If you are not aware, this will be Senora Messore's last year at Barrington High School. Senora Messore has been a beloved teacher in the Barrington public school systems for many years. She has worked both at the middle school and the high school and has served as the World Language Department Head for several years. Senora, her dedication to the Barrington school system goes farther than just the students she teaches in the classroom. She has a warm, bright personality, always saying hola and smiling at students in the hallway. Beyond her accomplishments as a teacher, she has raised 3 children, Laura, Michael, and Matthew, who all graduated from BHS. Senora Messore is far more than just a teacher. She is a mother, neighbor, community member, and friend, a town celebrity, if you will. I've had the privilege of being one of Senora Messore's students my junior year. Battling through the hardships of the pandemic, when teaching was at its hardest, Senora Messore continued to teach with heart and passion. It is that heart and passion that makes Senora Messore such an instrumental part of our school community. She teaches with an excitement and passion that undoubtedly translates to her students. Mrs. Messore has been vital to the growth of the World Language Department over the years. Learning language such as Spanish exposes students to new cultures and ideas and furthers us as students. It is truly such an important part of our education. Mrs. Messore has had a tremendous impact on me and my peers, serving not only as a teacher, but as a trusted adult and confidant. I am honored to speak on behalf of the class of 2022 to thank Senora Messore for all she has done for the Barrington public school system and the continued impact she will have as we move on to the next chapter of our lives. Thank you for all you have done for us, Mrs. Messore. Muchas gracias. Buena suerte. Thank you.
We have one more important staff member to honor before we move on to our seniors. And right now I'd like to call up Jack Colton to do that.
Thank you, Mrs. Scanlon. As many of you know, not only is today the graduation for the class of 2022, but it also marks a special graduation for our beloved principal, Mr. Hurley. There was once a time in all of our lives where high school felt far away. I remember being in middle school and being constantly reminded that in a few short years, everything was going to change, and that in high school, our teachers would yell at us if we walked in after the bell, our homework would be crippling, and the administrators would be nothing but a stern face walking the halls. Although some of these things might be true, when I first met Mr. Hurley, I had to do a double take. It seemed impossible that this was the scary guy that was going to lead us all through high school. Every time I listened to him talk in the auditorium, I was half expecting him to threaten a student with detention for having a side conversation. But as time went on, I began to realize that maybe Mr. Hurley was an exception to the stereotype of a high school principal. Mr. Hurley has roots in Rhode Island long before his tenure at BHS began, earning a bachelor's degree from the University of Rhode Island, a master's from Rhode Island College, and a master's in secondary school administration from Providence College. 42 years ago, Mr. Hurley started his career in education in the Taunton Public School District in Massachusetts, where he worked as a teacher and administrator. He was then hired by the Barrington Public Schools in 1999 as an assistant principal at Barrington High School, and later promoted to principal after 10 years in 2009. In total, that makes for 23 years here at BHS, which is close to 6 times more years any of us graduating today could ever dream to spend in high school. To spend your entire professional life in a school setting, high school nonetheless, seems crazy to me. But Mr. Hurley possesses qualities that make it make sense. He's a teacher at heart who is more comfortable letting his teachers take center stage. His interactions with staff are overwhelmingly positive and ones of support and encouragement as he's navigated countless district initiatives over the years. He ensures that no matter what is going on outside of the walls of BHS, our learning remains the top priority as he works behind the scenes to make sure everything runs smoothly. And it does. Oftentimes, you can drive by the high school late on a school night or over the summer months and see a certain Honda Civic sitting alone in the same spot and a light on in a certain office. Unbeknownst to many, that office is where Mr. Hurley tirelessly completes the tedious tasks that make BHS the place it is we come to every day. It's impossible to know when he's having a bad day, because as soon as he steps out into the halls, his focus shifts to the people in the community and being genuinely invested in their well-being. I do, however, have to mention one time when it felt like Mr. Hurley wasn't genuinely invested in my well-being. And that was 2 years ago when we were filming the virtual graduation for the class of 2020. I was sitting in the bleachers right in the middle here, waiting for the next car to pull up to film, and Mr. Hurley looks at me and pointed and said, "Jack, what's that just walked behind you?" To which I responded, "Well, I don't know, like, what do you mean?" He was like, "Oh, there was just some sort of rat that walked behind you on the bleachers." And I immediately stood up and looked for this rodent, which had apparently already gone back into the depths of the bleachers. But I guess the moral of the story is just to those of you sitting in the middle here, when Mr. Hurley, when he comes up to speak, just watch your back, because if there's a rat, he's not going to tell you it's there. I find that one thing our schools in Barrington are good at is recognizing the people that make them a special place. For example, every morning at Hampton Meadows, Mr. Sangiuliano handwrites a note to 2 students and leaves it on their desks. At the middle school, Dr. Anderson shines the BMS Spotlight on Learning on members of their community that shine bright. Here at the high school, we have an award known as Eagle of the Month, which has been presented since 2012 by the school improvement team. It would surprise you to know that out of more than 60 recipients of the award, Mr. Hurley dodged his countless nominations all 10 years the award has been given, until this past Thursday. During our May meeting of the school improvement team, we opened up the folder of nominations, and a member immediately pointed out that Mr. Hurley had 3 nominations and that he deserved to finally get it. As per usual, Mr. Hurley immediately rejected the idea and turned the attention to another highly deserving member of the community. After the meeting was over, our chair, Mr. West, emailed the team to secretly vote him as the June Eagle of the Month and received unanimous support. During our graduation rehearsal on Thursday, we surprised him with the award in front of the class and the rest of the school watching a live feed inside. Congratulations again, Mr. Hurley. I've witnessed firsthand many of these presentations in which Mr. Hurley shows an outpouring of appreciation for the people that make BHS the special place it is, and that ultimately make him look good on a daily basis. But really, the appreciation goes both ways, and it's evident in the general consensus of respect everyone has for him. Mr. Hurley, if you want to come stand up here for these last couple words, I'd love to have you with me. So, Mr. Hurley, I'd like to end with a short quote from your 2018 Principal of the Year acceptance speech, where you said, "You can't do this on your own, it's a team effort." I speak on behalf of the students here today, the tens of thousands of other students you've impacted, the parents and the teachers and the community of Barrington, when I say that we are all proud to have been a part of that team. It's only fitting that a nationally ranked school with countless accolades has a principal as professional, compassionate, and humble as you. It almost makes you wonder if the reason the candidate for principal next year pulled out is because they realized they couldn't replace you. Good luck, Mr. Messore. When you close your office door for the last time later this summer, know that you've done a tremendous job, and that the staff in this building who you've led, supported, and inspired for the past 23 years will continue your legacy of excellence for decades to come. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
All right, thank you, everyone. All right, let's get back to the real reason we're here today. And I don't know about that rat story, Jack. Don't worry if you're in the stands up in the center there. All right, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Jack. All right, so now before we get to the diplomas and the reason really we're here to see our graduates walk across the stage and deserve really the accolades that they deserve, as they have really worked hard not only these past 4 years, but their time here in Barrington. I just have a few words also that I would like to say on their behalf. So good afternoon and welcome to the graduation ceremony of 2022. Members of the school committee, administration, faculty, parents, families, and the Barrington High School class of 2022. As Jack said, after 42 years in education, the last 23 as a Barrington Eagle, I'm finally going to get to graduate. Standing here today, ready to present my last graduation commencement address, I couldn't be prouder than to share this day with the outstanding students behind me, the class of 2022. As we come together on Victory Field on this absolutely gorgeous afternoon, ready to celebrate the accomplishments of these exceptional students, I too share the excitement and the emotions of joy as we anticipate the amazing journey that lies ahead for this class. Having 3 children of my own graduate from Barrington High School in 2004, 2007, and 2015, and now having 5 grandchildren, the oldest Jonathan, who is about to turn 7 this summer, it brings me back to advice that I had given when I addressed my youngest daughter Megan's class in 2015. During that speech, I made the following comment. To my colleagues with younger children, and now to my own children, and to those of you here today with little ones just starting out, my advice to you is to hold on tight. Treasure the T-ball games, the dance recitals, and the music lessons as your children begin to explore their interests. Sooner than you think, they'll be sitting in their caps and gowns, ready to graduate from high school. As the class of 2022 prepares to graduate, their high school journey has not been an easy one. Beginning in March of their sophomore year, students shifted from full distance learning to full distance learning due to COVID, as we tried to figure out what teaching and learning would look like in this new virtual world of Zoom. During their junior year, a new set of challenges emerged as students and teachers were introduced to a hybrid model of teaching and learning in which some students learned from home on certain days, while others came to school and still others remained on full distance learning. As their junior year ended on somewhat of a positive note with an outdoor junior prom that included music, dancing, and yes, even food trucks, we were anticipating a normal senior year. At this time, I'd like to just pause for a second to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of our teachers and staff as they work side by side with our students to continue to provide high-quality teaching and learning during these difficult times. I would also like to recognize our parent community for their continuous support as through all of my years here at Barrington High School. So thank you. Recently, I attended a function in which the commissioner, Infante Green, reflected on this past year, and in doing so, stated that this year has been anything but normal for our students. I think that everyone involved in education in any way would agree with this statement. Normally, at the beginning of the senior year, we've gotten to know our seniors very well. However, between students not being here or being in school full-time for over a year, coupled by the wearing of masks when they were in school, it became that much more difficult to form those relationships that would normally be in place. And then on March 2nd, 2022, almost 2 full years after the start of COVID protocols, Mr. Messore notified the Barrington community that as of Monday, March 7th, masks would be optional. At this time, we began to once again see our students' smiling faces, and we were not continually having to tell students to pull up their masks as they walked through the halls of BHS. Although this may not seem like a big deal from the outside, it made a tremendous difference in our daily interactions with our students. And through all of this, the perseverance of the class of '22 was never in doubt. We ended our year in style with a senior prom at the Graduate, formerly the Biltmore, and followed by an all-night after prom. We had a great last day for seniors with cookout, music, yearbooks, and more, thanks to Mr. Scott, Mrs. Kaur, Mrs. Lindbergh, and many others. And who will ever forget Mr. Moran's friendship service speech as he inspired us all, as only he can, to live our lives fully, beginning with kindness. Now, in most of my speeches, as I've addressed the graduating classes over the years, I've always added a lyric or two from one of the artists, usually from my generation, Bob Dylan, James Taylor, etc. So while at a recent event in which Mr. Finn was speaking, he made reference to the fact that he's been my date for the last 44 proms, which is true. This made me start to think about this year's speech, and the artist I should quote. I immediately thought of Journey's Don't Stop Believing, which always amazes me that our students know every single word to this song that was released in 1981. I'm not sure how that happens. However, I settled on Tim McGraw's Humble and Kind, as I believe the lyrics to this song have meaning for all of us. The chorus goes as follows. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel pride, but always stay humble and kind. Class of 2022, continue to stay humble and kind as you begin your journey that will take you far beyond the walls of Barrington High School. As I conclude my address, not only do I want to congratulate the class of 2022, but I also want to thank you for making this, my last year, an exceptional one. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2022. It is now my pleasure to present the diplomas to this year's graduates. The graduating seniors, whose names I'm about to read, having met all the requirements established by the Barrington School Committee and the state of Rhode Island, are presented to you to receive their diplomas. So you guys go. Okay, go ahead. So we're gonna have stuff. So what you can do is once you cut them, then you just throw them right there. Okay? Yeah. So just check and make sure that's Angelica. Angelica Isabel Basic. Maxwell Cooper Splain. Yael Shayna Goldstein. Grace Carolyn Zwolinski. Zachary Philip O'Connor. Paris Marie Mashburn. Tessa Evelyn Sullivan. Jillian Beth Sullivan. John L. Lodner. Olivia Catherine Fitta. Ella Given Abadi. Jack Abadi. Delaney Rose Abaticola. Frances Patricia Adams. George Perry Alexander. Mira Grace Allen. Morgan Elrita Alverson. Michaela Bliss Amaral. Sumed Anantha Krishna. James Eric Anderson, Jr. Aiden William Arujo. Michaela Rose Bear. Hannah Bai. Joshua Daniel Byros. Ryan Harold Barney. Michelangelo Barreto. Michael, Mike. Camden Roy Battersby. Peter D. Birch. Andrew James Blazewicz. Madigan Kaylee Briding. Afa Sophie Brieger. Luke K. Brieger. Lola Francesca Brosco. Katie Sophia Brum. Benjamin Tyler Buca. Noah Pierce Buller. Madeline Grace Calhoun. Liam Thomas Capoza. Sarah Amelia Catani. James T. Celico II. Jason Chan Zervis. Marie Stephanie Valerie Chanfro. Zhang Zi Chen. Myra Cheng. Aja Seva Sissoko. Julia Catherine Comfort. Audrey Elizabeth Concannon. Nathan Ryder Cooperman. Ethan Robert Kutu. Alina Grace Crosby. Milan Gabrielle Crowder. Jack B. Colton. Celia Vivian Louise Kiersey. Riley Ann Curran. Olivia Virginia Daniello. Taylor Briggs DeFreitas. Isabel Maria Denise. James Lawrence Tipasquale. Sophie M. DeRosa. Christopher Joseph DeSisto. Lucille Yu Ching Divine. Ethan Michael Dosa. Julia Frederica Douglas. Morgan Rose Douglas. Lucy Benton Dreyer. Alexander James Duffy. Maxwell Joseph Dunn. Charles Walker Durkin. Audrey K. Faulkner. Samuel T. Faulkner. Tommy John Feroci. Elizabeth Day Fitzhugh. Braden Farrell Flaherty. Andrew Fletcher. Caroline Rose Friedman. way, Carol. Luke Robert Furness. Gabriella Ann Furtado. Noah Zimmerman Gardos. Anna Sarah Garofano. Brennan B. Gazarian. William Ernest Giordano. Madeline Riley Glass. Adam A. Gravel. Nora McKenna Green. Sophia Irene Hall. Elena Elizabeth Hamilton. Grace Skylar Hannick. Andrew Ty Harris. Miranda Lynn Hartel. Madeline Faith Heineman. Thomas Bates Henderson. Sarah Isabella Hennessy. Bryn Elise Hervey. Kara Marie Higgins. Benjamin Archer Hill. Ethan Hugh Hines. Griffin J. Hoder. Benjamin Clay Horowitz. Brian C. Ivitz. Santina Isabella Jacques. Sarah Catherine Jagler. Alessandra Amy Jarrett. Hadley Anastasia Johnston. Audrey Rose Keefe. Bodie Dava Klinger. Lauren Kelly Kolaski. Ava Marie Kovalin. Jill Nicole Lamontagne. Kellen William Lane. Martin Michael Lapchick. Andrew R. Lapointe. Caitlin Lau. How you doing with that stuff? Good? Yeah, take your time, get settled, because it's going to take her a while to go around. Good teamwork. What's that? No, stay where you are. You guys ready? Okay. Yep. Haley Ann Lavenna. Riley Grace Leadham. Joshua Peter LeBlanc. Remy N. Lilius. Skylar Kathleen LeMay. Paulina Maria Limos. Garrett Thomas Lepore. Emma Lynch Levin. Josephine S. Lithasak. Joshua S. Lombardo. Aaron Daniel Lunston. Neil John McGilvary. Don't mess that up. I got it. Andrew William Madden. Andrew Manchester Marr. Hunter Varden Marr. Alma Marie Marcoux. Thomas Eldridge Marinelli. Caitlin Ann Martins. Lucas Reed Matthews. Mary Claire McAdams. Olivia Rose Lynn McDonough. Charlotte Holmes McGarry. Aiden R. McKenna. Luke M. McManaman. Sydney Jolie Mecca. Dylan J. Meeker. Hannah Rachel Melker. Evgenia Melsakos. Vivian Alexandra Mueller. Jacob Malali. Maeve Janine Murphy. Riley Lawrence Murphy. Connor Slattery Nelson. Okay, Tiago P. Castro Neves. Galena Camilla Neiman. Jonathan Christopher Niemeyer. James Christopher Nowinski. Jackson Fancourt O'Connor. Luke Gibson O'Connor. Harrison Franklin Ogden. Emily Elizabeth Oldham. Elizabeth Grace Palmieri. Mackenzie E. Park. Andrew Jason Pelkey. Ryan J. Perugini. Allison Rose Pfeffer. Paxton Flynn Phillips. Joshua S. Pickering. Sarah Nicole Piet. Sneha Pokarol. John Patrick Post. Benjamin D. Patazik. Okay. Colton D. Pulsifer. David M. Raposa. Grace Evelyn Raposa. Layla Irene Rapley. Charles Carson Radin. Lillian Rose Redmond. Andrew David Saunders Rigo. Isabella Ann Resendiz. Ryan Andrew Ritchie. Sophia Faith Richardson. Asher Matthew Robbins. Adam Michael Roberts. William J. Roberts. Catherine Talbot Robertson. Nathaniel West Robinson. Miguel Ariel Roca III. Ava Lynn Rogers. Elizabeth Grace Rosado. Yenna Julia Ryu. Grace L. Saul. Risa Sauda. Scott V. Sapolsky. Sophie Bell Sheriff. Lily Therese Scheibel. Caleb Paredes Schultz. Grace Joanne Seneschal. Edward Scott Shapiro. Caden C. Shelton. Robert Presley Scholes. Away, kid. Elijah J. Short. Lucas Hale Silva. Joshua Joseph Silvera. Madison Faith Simos. Jane Elizabeth Small. Daria A. Smuck. Julia Faye Stankina. Garen L. Stone. Riley Kathleen Terrell. Ava Marie Tyne. Harry R. Turner. Dominic Peter Tutobeni. Emmett Porter Van Leer. Jillian Burns Vatter. Graham H. Vatter. Holden C. Vaughn. Haley Jean Walter. Madeline Lou Watson. Cameron James Watts. Sage Somerset Wells. Shori Evelyn Weeson. Addison Ann White. Cooper E. White. Patrick Davin White. Elena L. Wood. Samantha Wright. Sarah Marie Yee. Hannah Lee Arena Zengi. Weijie Zhao. And Jake Michael Zimmerman. Good job, everybody. All right. It is now with heartfelt pleasure and gratitude that we declare you graduates of our school. We now offer our congratulations to the next generation as they leave Barrington High School and march to their futures. Go. Congratulations, class of 2022.